I've never played a tower defense game before. Asterix. I've never properly played one and attempted to sink hours into one. Until now. One day I was browsing the Roblox homepage for something to pass some time, which is when I saw my friend Chris playing a FNAF tower defense game / experience. That name fucking sucks, by the way. Five Nights TD 2. My curiosity for why he played these games peaked, and I wanted to figure it out, so I joined, followed by a Discord call. He explained during the call that the game was some hot ass, ending up with both of us not even loading into a single match. But there was hope. Chris suggested a new up-and-coming FNAF-inspired TD game, Nightshift TD. We loaded in, and the game looked promising because Funny Bear I chose Freddy as my starter so we could play some of the story mode. Jack joined us for the second shift and we were punished pretty hard by the tarnished Shadow Freddy, who is cloaked. Here's my first praise about the game: learning mechanics through punishment, like Elden Ring. This singular enemy forced us to grind shift 1 to earn enough to summon for better units. None of us would have done that if it wasn't for this guy. Luckily, Jack got Night Guard, even enchanted with Spring Locked, a unit equipped with detecting cloaked enemies. Perfect for shift 2. Loading back in, we wiped the floor with these absolute bums. Lessons we learned here benefited the entire team all the way to the newest events, such as reading what the unit's stats are, using characters for enemies with troubling statuses, and collaborating together for a better chance of winning. We cleared the rest of the shifts, accompanied by Hyatt and Anthony, but I was already hooked. Same for the rest of the guys. Braden also, once he joined a while after we had cleared pretty much the whole game, aside from one game mode. Endless! My friends who regularly play Roblox TD games and TD games in general say endless game modes are always the most challenging and most rewarding, which I could confirm because we were slammed swiftly, although the rewards were promising. For the teams we had, yeah, Wave 100 was never happening. Again, we went back to the drawing board, consisting of us discussing how to best benefit from the types, and if they had passives or boost if a unit was placed near, leading to us utilizing Endo Plush and Crying Soul to shoot up our wave number. However, we weren't maximizing our efficiency nor power. Figuring that out, the objective was to properly enchant all of our units to whatever was the best possible. 99% of the time we were Charlotte's offering, as it increased the range to stupid numbers. Same goes for the chips. Second praise, the chip system, both linking back to FNAF and creating more strategy within the team building. In FNAF world, chips are able to be collected and equipped for sometimes very desirable perks or straight ass. So seeing these little guys in a TD game brings back some very nice memories and adds another layer of complexity, because now the question is what chips to use. Slasher is clearly the best chip, lowering a significant 40% of the enemy's resistances for whatever status the unit applies, which is best for bosses who aren't affected by bleed, stun, or slow, like Sewer-Ridden Bonnie and Pyromancer Foxy. Although, if the foes are afflicted as per usual, throw one System Overload for increasing their status's damage. Payday for someone like Test Dummy Endo is outstanding for exploding early game money, Critical Strikes for Beam or AoE characters, and Phantom Sense if your team lacks an uncloaking character. Double Trouble is a weird one because it's the rarest, but nobody on the NTD server discusses it, so I don't really know. Editor Melican here. It was actually a pretty good chip, Double Trouble, but at the time it didn't work. But what it does is that it boosts whatever a character with a summon ability summons. So Shadow Chica and Test Dummy Ender, it's only useful for those two. I also forgot some chips. I forgot about Battle Ready, which is a really good chip, and then we got Last Breath, which is a really shit chip. Do not use Last Breath. Battle Ready is a chip that boosts a unit's damage at the start of a wave, so it clears out a huge chunk of the wave's enemies really quickly, while Last Breath just boosts damage if a boss is near an exit. Should not bother putting that on anything. This system works seamlessly alongside the enchants to boost specific damage types those characters perform, expanding the potential for catering towards a goal in mind, something like max damage output or most seconds of stun, allowing for some actual critical thinking. I know, crazy. Hold it! How did we conquer Endless to consistently reach over 150 recommended wave number and beyond? Unit placement? Everything mentioned previously was set up for actual gameplay, being unit placement. Now all that knowledge is put to the absolute limit. You must take into consideration a number of factors to break the game mode, such as entrances, what enemies come through those entrances, units to place at the entrances, or where to place them at lanes. Not mentioning, chips and enchants. And from all of our critical thinkings, we combined our genius minds to create this masterpiece. yeah, it's pretty bad. We kinda just placed units wherever they fit since our placement on Endless was still very inexperienced. Also a fat over allocation to boss lane, plus trash enchants. However, we thought of a new strategy. Jesus Christ. The thought process behind this was to eliminate leaking over at this exit and delete any bosses that might be taking a stroll, which is not effective at all. At least Night Guard was added. Diminish is an interesting choice. Before showing how we improved, I should note that this was done before the Christmas update. Anyway, next screenshot, please. Oh, what? No, Endless! At this point, I decided my units could be much better along with the enchants on them, so I grinded a lot of Shift 7 hard mode to get a nice amount of resources. At the same time, it helped my dumpster fire of unit synergy, and Big Bad Bunny was obtained much better. Still not perfect, but focusing on middle instead of worrying about bosses was a great improvement. This being our record, accomplished by 3 players, done without Bear 5. My other friends did get to 300 plus, so I wasn't at my best here either. Enough with this basic ass Endless. We need Christmas Endless! Cool little event for what it was, a change of scenery than anything. What we care about here is the new units, the units that matter, I should say. Freddy Frostbite and Bouncer being meta for slowness. Remember when Endless was a stun fest? But now it's a stun and slow fest. Jokes aside, I believe these dudes added a lot to what to be included in your tower inventory, which was needed because using the same ones every match got boring quick. Christmas Endless ended up being maxed out in efficiency once it joined some guys to the server. Not perfect, nor getting us to wave 1 billion, but hey, it did its job well, I think. Proceeding my countless gift openings, I was able to get all the new Christmas units, not to forget my shiny Unk. As said before, only 2 of these mattered since the next event would only be achievable because of the Chili Bear and Snowball Man. During this period, Chris and I broke our TR, and I obtained the ever-inspiring Bear 5. I was officially given bragging rights now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The concept was simple. Defeat the new event for a chance. Me, Jack, and Chris didn't know this, of obtaining Firework Foxy. I'd say the Christmas Endless was a bumper difficulty for me. Or maybe the thing wasn't all that hard and I just didn't play it enough. Who knows? I can say with confidence that the developers did not pull any punches on the Pyromancer Foxy. A name that lurks in shadows, waiting to claim a victim before the prey can even process the unfathomable horror bestowed upon them from such a colossal threat. 6 players were required to stand a chance, even with busted teams. Our attempts went as well as you'd think they went. Absolutely awesome. Seeing the 5 million health was enough to curb any hope in beating it, and the towers we had did not fare up well at all. aka no strategy going in. Clearing the border once again, we gave up. I mean, was there any build that could make a dent? The closest we ever got was half health right at the end, which didn't inspire any motivation for further attempts. Well, I guess the video's over. Wait, was it updated to the event? The boss's health now scales to the player count? There's hope! Naturally, we queued up for more attempts as we chipped the Fox's HP with each try, resulting in our first victory. No Firework Foxy! What? Yeah, none of us were aware of the actual chance of getting him was a meager 1%. It would have been great if the developers had displayed that, but I digress. Jack, the only console player, decided it was time to quit due to the console support lacking in the ability to smoothly place, upgrade, and sell units, being necessary for an event like this. Chris didn't want to grind out a pretty boring road in all honesty, so another party member left, leaving me alone. Alright, so now it's drop rate was buffed to 2.5%. Jack remained firm in his distaste for attempting the event, but Braden and Chris were up for grinding, as Chris had soloed the event thanks to a better build. My better build was coppering. How did I manage to say coppering? What the hell does that even mean? The loadout of this YouTuber's video. Kinda. Tweak some units like replacing Amalgamation with Sparky and Shadow Freddy with Endo 01. Shiny bitch! If the other guys were doing well, the round would end before Pyro Dude even reached halfway. We would rinse and repeat this formula until Chris left. Damn. Well, we got it right after he dipped. We did it! We had done it! Thanks to the different lessons we learnt along the way, as well as the community giving pointers to what to improve or use instead. I'd say Nightshift TD has a lot of potential to make it real big in the future, because with just these few events, I've seen so much creativity and passion behind this project that it's driven me to make this video that you're watching right now. I wouldn't have made this video if I didn't think it was something special, and I think this game is something special. Everybody who's watching this should go play it right now. So stop listening to me and go play the game! And also, thank you for adding the AFK area and salvaging. Thank you very much. Game link in description.